Hey, good people, how are you? Okay, you enjoyed Reset Sniper. You promised to share it and like it, and you did, and I appreciate it and thank you for it. So, I'm actually giving you one ahead of schedule, another follow up, and I'm going to give you something that I've been thinking about quite a bit. And it's kind of like the Hunt's five rules for the current times. Yep, we're in a certain kind of times now, guys. You probably realize it. I've said to you that this is going to be a polarizing event. And many of you thought, well, he's referring to the money side. You know, some of us are going to come out wealthier and some of us are going to go down. And that's a big, big part of it economically. There's definitely an economic polarizing going on. But unfortunately, it goes well beyond economic facets. In fact, it's going to be polarizing from a number of points of view. It's going to be polarizing in extent of peer group and social groups immensely. And actually, I'm here to give you the rules ahead of the game so that you can start implementing before the other side starts implementing on you. These are your five rules. So let's just get a couple of established points that should be taken for granted, but for new watchers of this channel need to be understood. And that is the parasitic ruling class are going to use this virus to continue their pandemic fear tactics for years to come. It's too powerful. It gives them so much power. It takes away so much freedom from you and hands so much control to them. And it allows them to determine which businesses survive, which don't. It allows them to determine whether you make money or not. And it helps them to make you dependent on them as state, which further entrenches their power as the ruling class, the Bolshevik ruling class. So this is where this world has come to, and this is where we're at. And if none of that makes any sense to you, you're probably going to object to everything I'm about to say. On that note, probably the last time I will be able to attend a physical event, Liverpool winning the Champions League in Madrid, and my team, and probably the last time I'll be able to attend that. So I'm not boring you with my particular nuances of my sporting interests. I'm highlighting that going into anything that resembles a football stadium or an arena of such scale where 40 to 65,000, even 80,000 people can all attend simultaneously, those days for me personally are already probably over. In other words, I'm expecting this is my last Champions League final I'll ever attend in my lifetime. For the decisions I've already made that I'll delve into further forthcoming. Many things, if you go the hard road, you're already wiring into the fact that you've seen your favorite band live for the last time, that you've done various things in major group areas potentially for the last time. And I'm going to come to that so that it makes sense to you as it already makes sense to me, and how by being early, even though it's not comfortable, I'm beginning to mentally prepare myself for, and there is no new normal. There's normal and fucking normal. There is no new normal. There's no such thing as a new normal. Freedom is normal. Freedom of movement is normal. When the healthy get quarantined, it's tyranny. The sick get quarantined, not the healthy. And we are living in Bolshevik tyrannical times run by a cult, a parasitic cult that is assuming ever bolder powers and lecturing you and telling you off. UK just released a tweet retweeted by Boris Johnson. Fines are to be doubled for not wearing masks. Compliance is sought, yada, yada, yada. These people are elected to work and represent you and should be answering to you. Go see the Norman Tebbit clip where he says, any way else I can serve you, please write to me any of your concerns so that I can best represent you, etc., etc. Those were the days when government offered service and spoke on your behalf for your rights. Or there was one guy who did at those times, now largely labeled as an absolute racist for his river of blood speech, now in this unfettered immigration fest with Britain due to leave the euro, dinghies appearing out of nowhere, a rapid supply of dinghies. No doubt the dinghy purchasing out of Tel Aviv is roaring, and traffickers being able to set up, meet these largely sexually active males, no forlorn woman with young children and vulnerable, sexually active males of immigrant status, all being channel crossed and picked up half the way and brought in, kept in hotels in Priti Patel's precinct. Go watch Nigel Farage as he visits a hotel that's fully booked and won't take his booking, with lounging, hoodied, smoking immigration members, all being housed, homed at taxpayers' largesse, soon to be absorbed into British society. Now, for those of you that say, well, Britain, at least it's not South Africa, Britain is gone. As an indigenous population, you are gone, my friend. You are gone. The tipping point is long past. There's not an English name that's the most common name anymore. It's very different. And the tipping point is going to escalate. The birth rates in indigenous population is very low. In the immigrant population, I think it's 4 or 5 times. Don't call me out on the stats. It's significantly higher. I've forgotten it, but it's much, much higher. So the many that are pouring in are breeding at a far higher rate, and you will have certain guardian-esque of various religions and others and ethnicities all trumpeting the fact of a great replacement. But if you mention it, you're a nationalist. So Britain is gone. America, you face the same problem. It's coming. And the borders are being overrun. So here's what's happening. And here's the rules. First of all, the rules for surviving the times that we are in. It's time to drop out of the natural reflex of obeying government edict. Everything government and politicians say should mean the corollary. This law applies brilliantly for Tony Blair. If you want to know what the control structure are up to, listen to any recent statement of Tony Blair. He's a spokesmouth for the parasitic pedophilic cult that runs this world at the moment. And anything he sprouts, you want to actively do the opposite and encourage others to do the opposite. And he is mouthpiecing the agenda of the control structures. So your first remit should always be stop and think. And also, I hope the audio's been good.